mental disease. They are incapable of finding the truth and turning towards good. Their heart is completely sealed. In English, we coin another term that did not exist before. Gujarat Syndrome is our giving in that book. And we found another syndrome which is known in the West, but they don't have a name for it. We give the name. We call it deliberate schizophrenia. Meaning your logic is so messed up, if you are given two bad things, you will choose the worst to be the good. Everything upside down. That's a very good. New science tells us that's the most difficult mental condition you can have. You cannot fix them. And we have that.
Sir, when it comes to non-medical science, though you said that for you science is the same. That's why you wrote 4 volumes of books in
medical science.
My question is, we talked about the Newton's, Einstein's, and all those theories, and you guided us to question the assumptions behind it.
Yes.
But when it comes to medical
it's the same.
science,
they all have assumptions.
Yeah, you also elaborated about that.
Yes.
But so, I mean, the terms they have brought up, like traumatizing,
yes,
mental disorder, and all those things.
We have to disconnect. That's why I will upload the book today, inshallah. We have deconstructed them first. You see, English, Western science is very peculiar. They give names. Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer. Does it mean anything? Does it give the science behind it? You see, when you name like deliberate schizophrenia, it's like crazy, but deliberately.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that has a scientific meaning. When they give names, Alzheimer, Parkinson's, Hopkins, all the disease, it's just a name. It's not scientific. So that's the difference. We deconstructed them and we gave the scientific cause. Even for cancer, we gave them scientific reason. You look up anywhere, they say we do not know how cancer happens. But we can control this way. We said that's false. You have to know the cause. The whole word diagnosis means you know the full history. If you do not, what are you curing? If you do not know the cause, how can you remove the cause? Something is burning, and he said, "Oh, I can cool it off." How? You don't know what is burning it?
I watched a video of that Canadian.
Yes.
He is a psychotherapist, I think, not a psychiatrist. Gubar.
Yes, psychologist.
Psychologist, yeah, that one. One day he was speaking to audience, and he was saying that we have people who have never smoked, but they face cancer.
Exactly. I wrote about that in 2004. You know how?
Yeah, but the point is, when you discuss these things, the sugar, the saccharin, the aspartame, all those things. At that time, it made me confused. But when you describe these things, that you can't say, it's okay that he has never smoked, but you can't. He might have. He might have used sugar, saccharin, and aspartame. That is fine.
Breathe toxic chemicals. Always we are breathing. Even in this room, because it's painted with artificial, we are breathing non-stop.
Yeah.
We are breathing the dioxin from this, because this is artificial. That I wrote in 2004.
So we can conclude that linking all the things with smoking is phenomenal.
Yes. It's not relevant because you have to find the full time function. you are doing that because you want to promote your service for anti-smokes. What did they come up with? The smokeless smoke, which is worse. When it came out I think it came out 2006, I wrote right away that it was going to be worse. Now that it's known to be worse. They were even allowing kids to smoke. I say the same thing about energy drink. In the West, it's already known. Yesterday there's an article on, I forgot which topic, it's very similar. All the new things they have introduced, they are worse. And why do they introduce? Because of money. So it comes down to, if you want to have akhlaq, this is what you have to have. We observe anything, we talk about at the bottom. This is the intention to it. We collect data. Now I have a question for you. What's your name?
My name?
Yes.
Muhammad.
Muhabullah?
Yes.
Muhabullah. Tasal
Yes.
is not here. Tasal told you, you're a bad guy. I'm telling you now. Tasal is not here. I'm telling you, Tasal told me that you're a bad guy. Am I speaking the truth or false? Is this data truth or false?
So I was thinking about this, speaking of you.
Yes.
He says that
I will inquire.
I have to think about it.
Yes, I understand. You see, but I'm telling you, right away he said, brother, you're lying. You have to question me right away. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear it because you're lying. By what definition? He said, by definition of Prophet Muhammad. Because he told us that you are not to backbite. Quran, Gujarat told us, you are not to backbite. Even if it's true, you're not to tell me. So going against Quran or Hadith is a lie. That's the definition of lie. That's why I said, you have any data, you have to first draw, before you turn into information, you have to verify. It's an obligation. It's an obligation. You see, 49.6. Something is iffy, you're not sure. Even that you have to verify. But this is an obvious lie. Because brother, you're not supposed to backbite. Because Tasawwuf is not here. So if it is true or not, I'm not going to even inquire. It doesn't pass the next level. You stop right there. It's a lie. Same way, if it came from shaitan, I'm sorry, it's a lie. Why? Shaitan is a liar. It came for kafir who are oppressing us, I'm sorry, I don't accept it. I don't even want to know. For my yaqeen, I might want to do, which I have done, how they are false and illogical. But for you, right here you can reject. So who told you this? All same guys who call Prophet Muhammad terrorist, sorry, I'm not moving the data forward. It's gone. So first line of filter is that one.
To clean up the data.
Just fact. So only fact it is, if I tell you today that there's a bomb attack in US, right? Only fact about it is Dr. Islam told us there is a bomb attack. You cannot say anything beyond. Right? If that's a fact, I told you. So you give me a reference. That's what I mean when I said, when I say anything, I will give reference to Hadith or Quran or my experience. So I'm giving a reference. I'm telling you that it came from. So that becomes fact. It doesn't mean anything about there was a bomb or not. You see how we verify things? Okay. Then next level, after you have verified information. So information, those are facts. Those are truths. That's not enough. You have to find the entire truth, the time function. That's when it becomes knowledge. That's not enough. After knowledge, you have to decide the final stage. And that's why it's in conformance with 1736. It's a duty. And both are these. You cannot do anything without investigating. That's one. And you must seek truth. Another hadith is it's escaping right now, but we'll get to that. But before deciding, you have to pass all these stages. See, in research, you collect data. First job, what did I tell you? What is the assumptions? What did I tell you next? Are they all logical? So you're verifying if they are any good, right? Then what did I tell you? How to improve them? How to replace them? Yes.
Do we have permission that if a person says us that some people saying that you are a bad guy, to investigate about it, that
whether he has told or not?
If somebody tells you are a bad guy, or
like
I said, no, you should stop him.
he has the permission that investigate that the cell.
No, he doesn't have permission because he's relying on me. His job, his duty is to tell me that, brother, what you are doing is haram. See, that's where it's from. He should clean it up and said he should hold me responsible. He doesn't know if that's what I told him now. That's different. That's not his job. His job is to correct me. If I say no, I insist, then take me to the judge.
Yes.
That this brother is causing fasad. But fasad would be independent. He should not be. You know the famous case where a woman committed adultery, right? Only witness was herself. The Prophet said, you know this history, right? She was sent back, she's pregnant, and she came back, and Prophet verified if she's crazy or not. Did ever anybody ask, who is the guy? You see how Islam works? Did anybody ask, who is the guy? Did he commit adultery by herself? Because that's zulm. Because you only have one witness. Without four witnesses, what is it? It's a slander. What is the punishment of slander? 70 lashes. Slander is a major sin. Adultery is not a major sin. You do know that. Top 7 sins. You know that top 7 sins have slander in it. Number 1 is shirk. Number 6 or something, slander. Slander is making false statements about somebody.
Yeah.
But adultery is not. See, nobody, if Prophet asked her, who is the guy? Let's catch him. That will be dunya. That will be democracy today. Right? We want to punish him. Islam is not about that. Islam is about zulm.
I forgot that hadith, Saba al-Mubiqat, 7 things.
Yes.
One is, the
Slander.
first is shirk.
Shirk. And number 6 is, you can check it out.
Mr. Professor,
Yes.
in the previous slide, you told the real knowledge.
Yes.
Can you
This one?
explain that? Yeah. Then what is the difference between this slide that we've in 10th grade we've read that 7 or 6 was the building blocks of the Western science, and you've also drawn that graph. Then what is the difference between?
Oh, I know that one. I taught that for a long time. But
You are absent.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with this. Data only starts with data, facts. What is the fact? In every paper. First thing they say, based on Newton equation. So Newton equation is taken as a fact. What did I teach you? Fact is the one in the Quran and Hadith. It's completely different. I'm actually asking you to challenge that as a process to move forward. We're past that.
They are modern opposite of them.
So to point,
From the beginning. But that's a very good point. So we have to be able to say, just because it looks like pyramid, it's not the same. Because in management, they use the same one. Management, they use the same graph.
One of the cornerstone of your ilm is based on hadith. Then, if no hadith is said about one subject, then what we can do?
That's why we said you would not find a single hadith that says about anything we face today. Not one.
Yeah.
I challenge you.
For example, I cannot find hadith about the artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
I
There is no hadith on cocaine. There is no hadith on Donald Trump. There is no hadith on cryptocurrency.
No, intelligence and Donald Trump is different subjects.
Why is it different?
Because Donald Trump don't know anything, but
No, who said that? I praise Donald Trump. Actually, he's the least toxic president of U.S. history. Least toxic. So you are giving your opinion, right? But Donald Trump is the least toxic. In my economics book, you should check it out. This chapter on Donald Trump's energy policy. It was right on. So I do not say he's the best president because that's a lie. I say he's the least toxic president of U.S. history. So everything, if you just look at the background, it has to be in Quran and Hadith, otherwise we're wrong.
We seek the general rules.
It starts with that, then you have to remember every time I said there has to be time scaling.
Yes.
Without time scaling, there's nothing. And literally you cannot find one that fits exactly. You know why? Because we are living in a different time. Last 2 days ago, I posted something that raise your children following hadith, not following how your parents raised you.
yeah, how we have been brought.
Because you are a different time, right?
Grown
Your
up.
parents did the best for his time, but they didn't. We're raising our kids in a different time. Time changes constantly, so we cannot have any other reference than Quran and Hadith that do not change. We cannot have any other standard. A good example, and I'll make it short after that, maybe 2 more minutes. Bukhari. I told you that the most important research was done by humankind was compilation of Quran. But that is a state project. You cannot name one person behind it. That is the government. Khilafah Rashidun is sponsored that project, right? State project. Bukhari is the next most important in history, in human history. And he did it by himself. It was not sponsored. Look at the way he started with. We do not know how many hadiths he collected. His data was innumerable. But he memorized 700,000 hadiths. Memorized them with all the chain. You say, how is it possible? Allah does everything. Then, with that, he looked at the time function of each of them. What is time function? The chain of narrators. And he narrowed it down.
Decision for
7,000 only, about 7,000. So what is it? 1%. So today we are bombarded with information, bombarded with data. You go there, millions of sites for every question you ask. But we have to be able to narrow it down before we do anything with it. That's our job. Researcher's job is exactly that. Narrow down all the information and sort out only the facts, because you are accountable for that. That's your job.
So the same thing we can do with the theories which
Not
for
theory.
which you,
This is more theories. You can deconstruct it right away if they're logical or not. But this is data. How many people killed in Iraq? That kind of data we're talking about.
Okay.
All the news we were getting. Who bombed the pipeline? Data is the inductive logic.
Yes, something different came to my mind, and that is that even we can, while questioning assumptions and looking to the assumption, we can find something which are true.
Yes.
Yeah, like in Newton's law, we can.
No, you cannot find anything true.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
In
Because
Bernoulli-
deductive logic is just first, right?
In Bernoulli, we can find, I think, something.
No, not at all. That's why it's beautiful exercise. Go back, because Bernoulli is also based on Newtonian.
So, but how? I mean, he
That's
said
why I attack Newton so much. All the theories, including Einstein's, are based on Newton's.
Yeah, Bernoulli is also kafir.
No, it's not. I'm not calling anybody kafir. I said they are.
His science is also based on Western science.
No, it's not. That doesn't entitle me to call him kafir. Who is the only kafir you know?
Shaitan.
Shaitan. Others we do not know.
But
So-
Bernoulli is also one of the guys
No.
of Shaitan.
Agents of Shaitan, that's
Yeah,
better
agents
one.
of Shaitan.
But
So he is also, we can
I'm telling you, all the theories all are illogical. Bernoulli's theory, did you talk about the Bernoulli's, which hold the fins, airplane fins,
Yeah,
based
yeah.
on Bernoulli,
Yeah.
and the assumption, did you talk about the assumption? If not, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about all major theories. We'll deconstruct. It's much easier to deconstruct. But we're not talking about that. This is inductive logic, where we have data. Right?
But would we be able to find alternative in short term? Because
For this,
no,
easy.
for Bernoulli. For example, I'm
Of course, with Tassal. I was telling Tassal, you take this Bernoulli's and eliminate the assumptions. You have a long equation which is non-linear and so on. Remember we had that discussion. Very easy. And I told you, that's why I uploaded my computer science book.
yeah.
Have you seen that? It talks about how to solve non-linear equations. Why did this linearize? Why did they introduce those assumptions? Because it's easy to solve.
So we would be able to find pressure difference
Or originals, exactly.
with a Bernoulli equation.
Of course, that's the whole idea. Okay, now I'm going to finish with this last one.
Time is
Yeah, self-assessment. This is something that I want to cap it up with this. For you, just for your own exercise, how did you justify your last moral failure? Yourself. See, we all have moral failures. You cannot talk about my moral failure. You cannot talk about your moral failure in public. But for yourself, how did you fall for it? And how did you justify it? Okay? For instance, it's haram to invest in crypto, but you felt lured into it and invested. So how did it happen? The first point in your life, first time. And then I'm asking, how would it be different if you didn't fail at the time? How your life would be changing? How did you justify your last moral failure, which could be yesterday, which could be last week? Can you anticipate your next moral failure? What is coming up next? You can anticipate. And final question is, how would you prevent? With that, to make sure that you are on Akhlaq, I urge you to renew your Shahada. Shahada is what? La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Quran and Hadith. Quran came from Allah, and He's the only Ilah. Hadith came from Prophet, and He's the Muhammad Rasulullah. You see, it's all based. This technology, this science that I'm teaching you is based on Quran and Hadith, repeatedly, and based on Shahada. So renew your Shahada. It's not a very common practice. I actually have found very few people who renew their Shahada. Tonight, I'm going to say my Shahada before going to bed. Right? So with that, I'll complete. Thank you for staying with me.
Thank you.